While the K2 meter is a staple of paranormal researchers and can be a very effective tool, it has shortcomings that the user needs to be aware of. When employing the K2 during an investigation, and to ensure that the findings are reliable, investigators need to know what actually makes a K2 tick, or in this instance, flash its cool little lights. The K2 reacts to electromagnetic fields, or EMF. This is a physical field produced by electrically charged objects such as home power lines, appliances, computers, networks, TVs, and of course Casper and his friends. Unfortunately, because of its design, the K2 is also easily and highly susceptible to radio frequency interference, or RFI. In light of the K2's sensitivity to just about everything electric, investigators should try to locate and eliminate, or at best make note of, the sources of the EMF or RFI emissions before the investigation begins. This quick and simple task will help reduce the number of false positive readings from the K2. For example, you walk into a large bedroom, the K2 goes berserk, green to red, and stays there. It's a ghost! High fives all around. Later, when the video is reviewed, there in the corner of the room is a small refrigerator or a microwave. At that point, how do you know it was a ghost or just the fridge or microwave? You really don't. You need to check it out. It's important for paranormal researchers to be familiar with the K2's limitations. It will help better prepare the team for fieldwork, investigations, as well as to use the K2 so that false positive readings are eliminated or at best minimized during an investigation. Here we will demonstrate how the K2 is influenced by a device that has become so intrinsic to everyone it's hard to remember a time when they were just an imagination of the future, the cell phone. We found that cell phones react even when in silent, do not disturb, or airplane mode. Even when in one of these modes, the cell continues to unknowingly and silently communicate with the nearest cell tower. The only way to truly be assured that there is no false positive K2 reaction from a cell phone is to turn it off. And besides, it's kind of rude to be texting during a ghost hunt anyway. Okay, now on to the demonstration. On the other side of the K2 is a millimeter, which also detects EMF, but uses a different principle and circuit, and as a result is not as sensitive to EMF generated by radio frequencies as the K2. It's included here as a control and a demonstration device. Now we'll send a text message to the phone. You can see that it reacts as it communicates with the cell tower. The millimeter doesn't react because of its shielding and its design. Next, we'll call the cell phone. Same result, but a more prolonged reaction. We also found during this experiment that the cell phone pings the carrier service randomly, even when in airplane, silent, or other do not disturb mode. You can see here this is a random ping. Now we'll show how the K2 is vulnerable to RFI. Remember, that's radio frequency interference, generated by walkie-talkies, which is another necessity in any good investigator's arsenal. You can see here when the walkie-talkie is triggered, the K2 reacts. So as part of your normal investigative routine, and to ensure you are getting comms from good things that go bump in the night and not the droid in your pocket, make sure that all cell phones are off, or you may think that you've just seen a ghost.